Well, good morning, beautiful people. Today, your objective will be to determine the measures of center and variability for a set of data. Now, center, of course, we're talking about the middle of the data, and variability, think within that word is the word vary, and that means to change. So we're looking at how the numbers in the data set changes. The essential question for today is, how are patterns used when comparing two quantities? Well, the type of data that we will be talking about is called univariate data. For the word univariate, it's got the root word uni, that means one. So we're talking about a set of data that only has one variable. For example, your test scores from a test that you took last week. Now, these data can be described by measures of center and variability. This is somewhat of a review since you learned about the measures of center and variability last year. The first measure of center is called the mean. The mean is another word for average. Now let's review. To find the average, you simply add all of the values in your set of data and divide by the total number of values that you added. Just think, if you have a long list of data, it's mean for me to make you find the average. So think mean, average. All right. The next measure of center is an easy one to remember. It's the median. The median is the middle number. Think, on a road, the median is the strip of land between two lanes. So median, middle. So to find the median, you simply list the values in order from least to greatest, and then the number in the middle is the median number. The last measure of center is called the mode. Mode somewhat sounds like most, so just think it's the number in your set of data that occurs the most. Now, there are some sets of data that have no mode. All of the numbers occur the same number of times. And then you have other sets of data that have two or more modes. They may have two numbers that repeat more often than the rest of your data. So mean, median, and mode, those are your measure of center. Now for your measure of variability, we have the range. And if you remember, the range is the spread of the data. In order to find that, you simply subtract the lowest value from your data from the highest value, and the difference between those numbers is the range of the data. So let's try an example. Example 1. The ages in years of the people in line at Yo-Yo's, my favorite place, are 16, 15, 24, 33, 30, 46, 2, and 30. Determine the mean, median, mode, and range of the data set. Now, here's a great place for you to pause the video, try to give it a shot yourself, and then come back and check your answers. To find the mean, we simply add together all of the values in our data set and then divide by the number of values in our data. And if we do that, we have 16 plus 15 plus 24 plus 33 plus 30 plus 46 plus 2 plus 30, and that's a total of 8 numbers. So we're going to take that total, which is 196, and divide it by 8. Now, I simplified the fraction first. That way, when I do my division, I'm working with smaller numbers. And that simplifies by dividing both numbers by 4, which gives me 49 over 2. And then when I do the math, 49 divided by 2, remember that fraction bar simply means to divide. That gives me 24.5 for the mean. Now, in order to find the median, I listed my numbers in order from greatest to least. And then I simply started marking them off on both ends until I got to the middle. Now, I have two numbers in the middle. So in order to find the middle of those two numbers, I add them together and divide by 2. So when I add 24 plus 30, I get 54. Then when I divide that by 2, I get 27. So the median for this set of data is 27. Remember, the mode is the number that occurs the most. In looking at my set of data, the number 30 occurs more often than the rest of them, so the mode is 30. Last but not least, we have the range. Remember, to find the range, we take the highest value and subtract the lowest value. The highest value is 46, minus 2, which is my lowest value, and that gives me a range of 44. Okay, here is your secret question. It's coming from page 654 in your book. You are given the height of students in inches, and you are to determine the mean, median, mode, and range of the data set. So pause the video, give it a shot, and don't forget to show all of your work. Another way to describe your set of data is called the 5-number summary. Now, we're talking about quantitative data. Quantitative, think quantity, number. So it's data that's made up of numbers, and it could be measured in different ways. Now, first of all, a set of quantitative data can be divided into 4 equal parts called quartiles. The word quartiles, it's got the root word quar, think quarters, 4 quarters make up a dollar. So there are 4 quartiles that make up our set of data. Well, the first thing that we do is find the minimum value. The minimum value is just that. It's the lowest number in your data set. And then we've got our maximum value, which of course is the highest number in our data set. Then the middle number we already know as our median. So we've got our minimum value, our maximum value, and then the middle number is called our median. Now, if I were to look at all of the numbers below the median, this is called the lower half of our data. Now, if I find the median of the lower half of our data by doing the same process, marking off 2 on the ends until I come to the middle number, the median of the lower half of our data is our first quartile, and we mark it using Q1. So that's your first quartile. Now, on the other half of our median, we have the upper half of our data. And then if I find the median of the upper half using the same process, that gives me the third quartile, which we mark using Q3. So quick review. We have our lower value, our minimum value. Then we have our highest value, which is our maximum value. The middle number is our median. Then looking at the lower half of our data, the median of the lower half is our first quartile. And then looking at the upper half of our data, the median of the upper half is called our third quartile. Now, our 5-number summary provides a numerical way of characterizing a set of data, and it can be shown with a box plot. Go ahead and make sure to pause the video and get all of this information down. Now this is how a box plot is used to show the 5-number summary. We have a set of data. The minimum value is marked as well as the maximum value. And then we have the median of the data. And we're plotting these, of course, on a number line. Then once you find the median of the lower half, you have your first quartile. And then the median of the upper half is your third quartile. Now all of the medians, the regular median, the median of the lower half, and the median of the upper half are connected on your box plot using just that, a box. And then the maximum value and the minimum value are connected to your box. They used to call this a box and whisker plot, but now it's referred to as a box plot. But this is where the whisker part came from. Now, a box plot is very beneficial because it helps you to see the interquartile range, or the IQR, which is what we use for an abbreviation. And the interquartile range is simply the range between the first quartile and the third quartile. So to get that, you simply take the third quartile and subtract the first quartile, and that gives you the interquartile range. Okay, we are going to work one together before you are sent off with your second secret question. So we are given the number of days of incubation periods for pet birds. And by the way, this is coming from your book on page 657. So the first thing we need to find, or the easiest thing in my opinion, would be the minimum value. And the minimum value in this list of data would be 20. The maximum value in this data is 30. That's the highest number in the list. And then if I were to write all of these in order from greatest to least and find the middle number, the median would be 23.5. Well, how did I get 23.5, do you ask? Well, let's go ahead and actually put them in order from least to greatest. So I have 20, and we're going to mark them off as we go. 20. I have 21 3 times, so 21, 21, 21. And then next is 26. I have 29 twice. And then I have 30 twice as well. So now they're in order from greatest to least. And I'm simply going to mark off the ends in pairs until I get to the middle number. However, since I have two middle numbers, I must add them together, which gives me 47, and then divide them by 2. And so that's how they ended up with 23.5. And so my minimum value, let's go ahead and mark these on our number line. Our minimum was 20. Our maximum is 30. Our median is 23.5, which is about right here. Now, here's our median right here in the middle. Now, if I was to determine the median of the lower half, I'm doing it in a different color so you can tell the difference. My median now of the lower half, which is Q1, is 21. And then Q3 or quartile 3 would be the median of the upper half. And I get 29 for that. So there's our 5-number summary. Our minimum is 20. Our maximum was 30. Our median is 23.5. For quartile 1, we got 21. And then for quartile 3, we got 29. And remember the 3 medians, which is the median, quartile 1, and quartile 3, make up our box. And then our minimum and maximum are connected with the 2 whiskers. Wonderful. Now it's time for you to try it on your own. And this is coming from the same page. And this will be your secret question number 2. You are going to determine the 5-number summary and create a box plot to represent your data. Don't forget to show your work off to the side.